Hey everyone, welcome back. It is time for another wrestling review. With me once again, we have Campo.Reviews, the man who reviews movies, TV shows, everything else in between. You'll find his stuff down in the description box below. And while you're there, make sure you give this video a like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Help out that algorithm and make sure you follow us on Spotify because if you can't watch us, at least you can hear us. So tonight, taking care of TNA Sacrifice. It was a thing.
They did the game.
It was a thing. It was a thing. We start off with our pre-show match. Did you watch the pre-show? I always
The
ask you
the
that.
1.5 pre-show matches.
The pre-show itself was only half an hour with one match,
One and a
and
half.
and it was better than anything AEW did on their pre-show.
Yeah.
I actually like this match. We had First Class, AJ Francis and
Oh
Casey
yeah, this
Navarro
is good. He needs to
against
calm
the
down.
Aztec Warriors.
He needs to calm down though.
Who
AJ
AJ?
Francis is trying too hard to be a heel, and it's coming off like you're trying too hard to be a heel.
Yeah, but Casey Navarro worked, and Octagon Jr. and
They're
Laredo
funny.
Kid were really good in this.
Yeah, those guys are funny, and those other guys are good. We already knew Laredo Kid is really good.
Yeah,
Octagon Jr., who's literally just small Penta.
yeah.
Uh, like he has
Well,
the
no,
same exact mask.
yeah, because Penta has five sides, right? Pentagon has five, and
Yeah.
Octagon has eight. So he's a more
I mean, there must be a faction of shapes from
hexagon and
because his dad, there is Hexagon Senior.
yes, and quadrilateral.
Yeah, there's Rhombus, Rhombus Junior. But yeah,
Decahedron.
it's weird because he literally has Penta's mask.
Yeah, it is. It's very similar.
And when I Googled, like I really deep dove, and like I guess there must be something I'm missing, but he has no connection to Penta at all.
No, none whatsoever.
But Hexagon Junior is a real wrestler. Or Hexagon Senior is a really popular
His
wrestler, which
dad,
I'm assuming
Octagon.
must be his dad, Octagon. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. But there is also a Pentagon Senior
Yes. Because
because
he is
Penta is
Pentagon.
Junior.
Technically, he is Pentagon Jr. Yes. But yeah, this was fun. I didn't mind it. It was fun for the pre-show, built it up, and that's all you really need in a pre-show.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Yep. AEW, take notes on this one.
Not a weird fucking women's match, which is usually what you get on TNA.
Yep. Yeah. But with that, we'll go to the main card proper, which kind of already started on the pre-show. It was originally the first match was supposed to be Tessa Blanchard versus Lee Lee. Lei Lee or
Lee
point is
Ling?
point is,
Lee
Mance
Ying?
Warner.
Isn't it something like that?
It used to be Xia Li in WWE.
Yeah, whatever. We'll just call her that girl.
Um,
Xia Li.
so Mance Warner and Sami Callihan started brawling, and they made their way to the ring before the pre-show was over. The match actually starts before the pre-show ends. That's why you're saying 1.5 matches.
Yeah. Well, most of the match is on the pre-show.
Yeah, and then the bell actually rings when they go to the main show.
And listen, I gotta say something. So
Hmm.
the first half of this match, let's say till it cuts. So with the table spot,
Hmm.
like there's a little bit after when the match starts, I was like, okay, you know what? This is fun. I don't like Sammy Callahan, and we're having a good time. I don't
Yeah,
mind Mance Warner. Um, we're having a good time. And
yeah.
then the fake staple guns come out. And
Oh,
I don't know when TNA switched to using fake staple guns because they used to be like the only company that was really using staple
staple
guns.
guns. When PCO was there, they were using
Yeah, remember
staple
The
guns.
Masha Samovich match? They were using real
Mhm.
staples, and then all of a sudden now it's like you stapled his forehead twice, but
And
no,
nothing.
he never had to pull a staple out of his head, and there was no blood.
And the tongue stapled to the turnbuckle.
Yeah, like
Yeah, that's where it lost
I mean,
credibility.
it's wrestling. I
Yeah.
get it, but just don't do that.
But then again, you have John Moxley taking a bat with nails to it.
Wow, that was epic. Let's just not
So
pretend that wasn't.
I was talking with Fab today actually, and he said he goes, "There, you finally got your overbooked Cope versus
I did. I was happy that this is what should have happened. Well, we could talk about this for a second because I mean we're the next state, God knows when.
yeah.
Um, that was good. The
Yeah.
FTR turn, but what I wish
The
happened.
Dax Harwood turn.
This is what I wish happened. That they helped him get up, and
Hmm.
they double clotheslined him like hard, like clothesline from
Uh,
hell double, and they both turn on him. I don't want an FTR split. I
which
want
is what we're getting.
I want heel FTR.
We're getting an FTR split.
It doesn't make sense because Cash doesn't work as a solo wrestler.
No, but they're worried that Cash may be going away.
But I thought that the case was over.
Is it? I don't know. I'm not
Yeah, I
100%. I think
thought he
it's,
got. I'm pretty
oh,
sure it
he got
didn't. He
acquitted?
didn't charged. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, then in the end, Mance Warner ends up winning this match.
I mean, like I said, it started off really strong and it ended
Yeah.
very poorly.
Yeah. The thing I was going to say, they did make mention of the fact that Steph DeLander is not recognized as the TNA Digital Media Champion.
Yeah.
So, tournament, I guess. So with that, we're gonna go into Tessa Blanchard versus Lei Ying Lee.
Ming Na Wen.
Yeah, exactly. This was
Um.
fine. This was good. I didn't mind
Yeah, it
this
was
match.
fine. It was fine. I can't really knock it. Tessa Blanchard is a good wrestler.
She is terrible human being,
Yeah,
but no denying her talent.
of course. Not, it is what it is. Yeah, and
And even Lee. Lee looked good
Lee's
too.
always been serviceable.
Yeah,
We've always said that. Her
yeah,
character in NXT was actually really strong, and WWE just didn't know what to do with her. Then they main
yeah.
rostered her for some reason.
Hmm.
They already had too many women, and you main rostered a
And it
person with
was
like this
overbloated.
crazy gimmick,
Yeah,
and like, what do you do with her now?
yeah. You released her.
Yeah. She
But
was basically like the Mortal Kombat girl. What was her
Katana,
name? Katana. She was something like that,
the one with
right?
the fans?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Katana. Oh, your friend Sleepy Asian made her evolve. She's moving to evolve.
Yeah, well, whatever.
So with that, Tessa Blanchard does win this match. It was fine. It was good. This is setting up Tessa Blanchard for a title shot
I have a
eventually.
question.
Yes.
So
Hmm.
you have SmackDown Raw,
Hmm.
NXT with
Yep.
developmental. You have main event, which occasionally has
Yeah.
a
Speed.
match. Speed, which I mean, the speed doesn't count, but main event is a thing where they usually just recap the week, but there's like one or two matches for main
Yeah.
event.
Dark matches and stuff like that were filmed.
That's what speed is, by the way. When I went to SmackDown, they filled them as dark matches.
Okay.
Um,
Was Andrade there? He's still the
no,
champ, right?
it was a women's match, I think.
It's what's her name still, right? Candice LeRae?
Yeah, but it wasn't for the belt. It was just like a qualifying match, I guess, or something.
Okay.
Anyways, I don't remember what it was. It doesn't matter. Irrelevant. Irrelevento. Um, oh no, you know who it was? It was the guy from I think it was Dragon Lee.
Hmm.
Don't quote me on that. Versus the guy from the Viking Raiders,
The
Ivar.
bald guy or the hairy
It was
guy?
Ivar. I remember the
Ivar.
name. Anyways, that's not neither here nor there.
Yeah.
You have
Moving on.
that. Now you have Evolve.
Yeah.
Wh-
And
wh-
LFG
okay, so
and ID.
that's what I'm saying. So at what point, like, where does this stop down the line? Like, isn't NXT your developmental system?
Yeah.
So you
This is
bring in,
their indie.
but I'm saying you're bringing in people who are just random college athletes and get to work at the big stage already in NXT, which is already a televised show. They
Yeah.
work with the real wrestlers, but then you have real high caliber, well known indie wrestlers, and they're wrestling on Evolve that doesn't even have a TV channel.
It's all on YouTube. Yeah. You have Kylie Ray. You
You have
have
Kylie Ray and
Zeta
Zeta
Steel.
Steel. That's already enough. That's already
Yeah.
two really big names.
Yeah.
Anyways, digress from
Well,
my
I
point. I
like
just
this
wanted
guy.
to get
There's
that
one
out.
guy I like, Cappuccino Jones.
That's a good name, quality
Yeah.
name.
Quality name. And Cartwheel Jack.
Oh, Cartwheel Jack. Yeah, see, that's a name though. People know who Cartwheel Jack is. Anyways, we're talking about TNA.
TNA.
This
Tessa
match
Blanchard
was
wins
fine,
once again. Tessa Blanchard wins this match.
good enough.
This is setting up the number one contendership. We're gonna get a match there. Next we got Rascals and Ace Austin versus Wesley, Tyson DuPont, and Tyreek Igwe.
Very good match.
Yeah, Ace Austin needs to break out as a solo star.
Ace
Well,
Austin and Thing together is crazy. Trey Miguel is
oh yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
That
yeah.
that
Ace
one
Austin,
spot, the through the rope like neck breaker thing
Kurt
that Trey
Ring,
Miguel
yeah,
did was crazy.
yeah. There was some pretty sick spots in this match. What else do we get? We get I
Ace
put
Austin's
this.
gone. Like, there's no way he's staying in TNA.
You think so?
Yeah, for
Japan?
sure. I think so.
He's Japan bound. While Bay recovers.
They did. I have to applaud them for something as much as I don't like the new regime at TNA.
Hmm.
If Ezekiel is here to stay and the Colognes are here to stay. Like, not to stay, but you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah.
And like they're rebuilding their roster. The problem we always had for the whole time we were watching them is that their men's roster was not deep. So it
No.
was always the same people wrestling for every belt all the time.
Yeah.
Right? They've kind of expanded. They have Pentagon or Octagon.
Hmm.
Laredo Kid is now being featured more. You have more range.
Mance Warner.
You have a real mid card now and a real top card. It's not
Yeah.
just
Especially Mance Warner now is probably going to take the place of Jake something because he's going to be out for what, a year now with
yeah,
the
and
torn.
you can always put Mance Warner in a title picture. If they had Josh Alexander and Mike Bailey still, this they would be really in a
In a good
really good
position.
position.
Yeah. But unfortunately, they don't. The thing is, Trey Miguel and Zach Wentz, the Rascals, they're going to need something because you can't have them floundering while.
They'll win the belts.
Yeah, we'll talk about something about that later. But the Rascals and Ace Austin do win this match in a really, really solid match. Wesley was kind of being wasted on NXT. There's kind of no spot for him there anyway, so this is a good spot for him right now.
It's
Um,
it's it's we talked about this and like the push that a guy like Wesley got and Trick,
mhm.
which Carmelo got, and
Yeah,
Ilya Dragunov and uh
Braun Breaker.
Obafemi is right now. Oh, but Braun Breaker is still doing his thing. All
Yeah.
those other guys are now irrelevant to the
Well,
situation. No one, Trick's not doing
Ilya's hurt.
anything. Ilya's hurt. Carmelo's not doing shit in the main roster.
Yeah,
Wesley has been sidelined, and so has Trick. Trick is not part of any main like
yeah.
storylines at
He's
all.
still involved in that feud with Eddie Thorpe.
And see what I mean? Like, so it's gonna happen to Obafemi next.
Yeah, yeah. If this were Vince McMahon, Obafemi would already be WWE champion.
Exactly, and I think the way that they're doing it is good and bad. It's good because you're testing the waters to see who can I actually use,
Yeah,
but it's also bad because you're constantly putting us through the ringer of new people getting this push, and most of them are not good.
yeah. See, this is why I like Sean Spears as the North American champion.
Yeah, but I also don't. This is like I don't want to be mean to him because he's not a bad wrestler, but I don't want to see Sean Spears do anything.
No, but I mean, him as champion, you can get a bunch of new. You can get like a Javon Evans. You can get like some new guys
Yeah,
facing him, and basically going. It's going to do so much for your career being in a match against Sean Spears. Even if you lose to him, it still puts you over. You know what I mean? Sean
yeah.
Spears
Well,
will
it's like
put
what
you
Ethan
over.
Page is doing, right? But it's like
Yeah,
at the same time, it's like, do I want to live in a world where any either one of those guys is a champion anymore? Like I'm just, it is
yeah.
what it is. Anyways, continuing with TNA,
Or Ricky Saints.
Ricky Saints.
Welcome to TNA Sacrifice slash State of Wrestling.
Yeah, it just happened.
Steve Macklin versus Frankie Kazarian. Random
This
ass
at this
match.
point, I got really bored.
Yeah,
This match isn't even bad. It's just
it didn't belong here.
I don't. This storyline doesn't matter to me.
No.
The Kazarian storyline is basically what's happening in AEW with the Moxley storyline, where it just
Hmm.
feels so drug out now because they didn't go anywhere with it.
Yeah.
They kept pausing for things that were happening behind the scenes, like, oh well, we
Hmm.
can't do this yet, we can't do this yet, and now Kazarian still has this stupid chip,
Yep.
and it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah. It's pointless. It is absolutely
Just have
pointless.
him wrestle Macklin for the chip for the briefcase, whatever it is, the
Yeah.
contract,
The
and
winner
then
take all.
winner
Yeah.
take all, and have Macklin win because Frankie Kazarian doesn't need to do it.
No. Because Macklin does win this match.
Yeah, but it's not
Um,
for the thing.
Ash and Heather by Elegance with the personal concierge in this match against Spitfire for the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championship.
And like it's another situation where I also just don't care. And after
I
coming
think this
off,
is a situation for Danny Luna. I think her visa's expiring.
which is fine, right? I'm
Or
not
maybe
digging.
because it's Jody Threat, Canadian working in the US may not be able.
I'm not digging into that part of it.
Yeah.
I'm saying coming off the last match and whatever the slow pacing and like
Yeah.
story that I don't care about that it was going into this match, I'm like, okay, now there's still a lot of matches left on this card,
Yep. We still
and
got four
I'm
more matches
and
after this.
I see the time.
Hmm.
It's not just four matches; it's like four long matches,
Yep, they were.
and I'm like, well, you lost me.
Yeah. Um, We do get new champions though.
The match was okay.
Yeah, it was fine.
It was funny. I laughed a few
Yeah,
times, but
it
it's
was a
like,
comedic match, but
yeah. I think that group is really a solid group for a
with
women's division.
the elegance,
Yeah.
yeah,
The
and
concierge is hilarious.
yeah, he even took the time to talk with us after,
And who would have thought that was him? You know what I mean?
right?
Because he was wearing like a suit and everything, and he seemed
Yeah,
like,
he's I think he's promotions manager as well for
yeah,
the
he's something
company.
like that.
Yeah,
Because I remember like we had a long conversation with him,
yeah,
like
we spent a
actually for
good
a
15,
while.
yeah, 10, 15 minutes
We
talking with
we
the guy.
blocked the doorway.
Yeah, people were getting mad at us.
Yeah, that's when the lady's like, "Oh, look, he's got the Bullet Club shirt." And she named like a bunch of random guys, and some
Yeah,
guys like, "That's not who that is."
is yeah. And speaking of Bullet Club, congratulations to David Finlay, New
Yeah.
Japan Cup winner.
Well, by the way, thanks. I didn't even know that was happening. I own New Japan TV and
Yeah.
didn't even know that was happening.
The finals was Umino versus Finlay, and Umino
I
lost
saw the
again.
I saw the results. I just was like, when the fuck did this happen?
Yeah, it's been going on. I've been watching it,
That sucks. I
part of
would have
it.
liked to have watched it, but now that I knew what happened, I don't want to watch it anymore.
Speaking of watching matches, Mustafa Ali against Mike Santana, another random ass
Hold
match.
on,
It
just
was
before
good
we
though.
do this, this means if David Finlay won that, he's not leaving.
No,
And that means he's probably beating Goto for the championship.
well, I hope not.
I don't think you would have David Finlay win that to lose. I think they would have gave it to somebody else if they were going to have them lose.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah,
You would have had Shota win if he was going to be for him to lose.
I think for him to lose, you have Shota win.
Hmm, that's cute. I like that.
But
Anyways, back to what we're talking about.
Mustafa
Um,
Ali against Mike Santana, another random match.
the crowd was really into this match,
Yeah,
and it got me a little bit back on board. It was actually a good match. It was a little bit too long. Like
yeah,
it lost.
Ali's really good though. And that's what kind
Yeah,
of kept me in this match.
Mike Santana was pretty strong in the beginning, and I think Ali
Yeah,
did a lot of work to carry him. Ali gets injured in this match if we find that out later.
yeah,
By the way, they had four really bad injuries on this. Jeff Hardy got injured.
yep.
Mike Santana got injured. One of the
Mustafa
women
Ali.
got injured. Mustafa Ali got injured.
I think Cora Jade too, right?
I think Cora J did get injured. Anyways, they're like right now TNA has five like bad injuries on their
Yeah,
roster of
yeah,
like main people.
yeah.
Anyways, back to what we're talking
But
about.
yes, the crowd was good in this match, and they got me back into it. Like you said, it got us back into the match. But it's still, like I said, this is a random match and a random feud nobody cares about.
The second half of the match also just got really repetitive, and
Yeah.
the way the finish came was far too quickly. Like it
Yeah.
just ended, and you're like, and it,
What
it
the hell
wasn't like
just happened?
it wasn't a proper setup because if Tasha Steeles had cheats to help him win,
Right.
but if she had been there this whole time in the on the previous like 17 minutes of this match, why didn't you cheat then? Why did you
Yes.
wait all the way till that moment to do it, and then the match ended just so abruptly, and you're just like, okay,
Okay. Yeah. But Ali wins, but he gets hurt. What's the injury that Ali has?
I don't know.
They didn't disclose it.
No, not yet. I don't think. But I mean, when it comes to a match in the middle of the card that means nothing,
Yeah.
to have these two guys have this kind of match kind of felt good because
Yeah.
usually in TNA you get a really mediocre match here.
Yeah. And this also sets up after this match, or not after this match, but later on in the show, Santana's complaining to Santino. And Santino sets up a match where his people are banned from ringside. So
I like that little group. I think this is one of the best little groups that I keep
mini
saying little
faction.
group. It's a best like mini faction that they've had in a while, and what they've done with the system and building them out like that, I really like that because the problem with the system was it was just those freaking goofballs
Yeah.
and it
But now
wasn't
you add the
working. But
colognes, you add
it, it,
JDC to
it
it.
makes it like more seem more realistic.
Yeah. So with that, we'll go into our women's knockouts championship match. Masha Slamovich defending against Cora Jade.
Cora Jade is
Who?
yeah, everything she did that was good here, I could point at and be like, you know what, that was good, the Canadian Destroyer. But then guess what? You
Yeah.
know who really does the Canadian Destroyer? The other person, not
Yeah.
you.
The one
Um,
taking the move is the one that's doing the move. Yeah.
it's But you know what? She had a few high spots that I will say,
Hmm.
but Masha Slamovich is also a top 10 women's wrestler in the world.
Oh yeah, guaranteed.
Arguably a top five. So I mean, it is what it is. I wasn't excited to watch this match. It was far better than I expected. It wasn't anything great. It was like a
Which is our
three
line, which
star.
is far better than it should have been.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wait for sure. But
yeah,
I'm curious to see like when you have a Cora Jade match where she's wrestles Roxanne Perez, like that's where we're gonna see if she's actually any good because
yeah.
Roxanne cannot carry a match,
Cora
right?
Jade versus Fallon Henley or something.
You see what I mean? Yeah, it has to be
Yeah,
something like that. Roxanne Perez is also just a little bit too good that it might actually turn out okay if
yeah,
with her in
because
it.
she's improved quite a bit.
She was
Some
never a bad wrestler. She just didn't deserve the push she got.
right. Yeah,
She was never the top dog in that company. It was like they were so eager to move on from Mandy Rose that they were like, just give it to the hot short one.
I think she's dating one of the guys from the ID program now.
Congratulations, ID man.
ID man. Yep. Um, Masha Slamovich wins, and that's the thing too. This was the theme of the night. Every match on this card, the outcome was expected.
I think Myla Grace is dating JD McDonough. Just I
I
don't know
think
why I
so.
thought about that. Anyways,
Yeah.
sorry.
Uh, Moose versus Jeff Hardy ladder match for the TNA X Division Championship.
Begrudgingly, very begrudgingly, like the most
This was
begrudgingly I've
good.
ever been.
I like
The
this
Moose
match.
appreciation train continues.
Continues. Two good Moose matches in a row. Who would have thought?
I promise you, none of the good stuff that happened in this match was because of Jeff Hardy.
No,
He
Jeff Hardy
botched a
looked
lot.
off. Yeah.
He missed the swanton bomb and
Yep.
like almost didn't crack the table. Like he almost fell backwards off and didn't even go through the table.
I think maybe Jeff Hardy may have been hurt before this
I
match.
think so too, and I think they wanted to do this match to write him off.
Yeah.
They probably didn't know how bad he was injured because it's Jeff Hardy. He's not going to tell you.
Yeah.
But they were like, okay, you're hurt. Let's just do this hardcore match. You will write you off for an
Yeah.
injury.
And
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 now with the
and
thing,
props to Moose. Props to Moose has become like the Nia Jax of this company, where like behind the scenes, he's the one actually carrying the match if he needs to be and calling the shots.
and I think what they'll do here is there's something that happens in storyline later, but then
Hmm.
they'll both be injured and they'll
Yeah,
either
and they're
have to
gonna
relinquish
vacate.
the belts
Yeah.
and then they're going to go to WWE or they're going to have a match where they're so injured that it's just an easy squash win for whoever they face, which
We'll
we know who
discuss
they're
that
going to
after the
face.
main event. Yeah.
Yeah. But the only spot in this match where I was really like, I don't know why you set it up this way was when Moose walked across the ladder
Hmm.
and the ladder was like moving and he was like
Oh,
so scared to let go of the rope.
because he's a big dude. Like
Yeah, he
he's not
shouldn't
a
be doing
small.
that. And the
Yeah.
actual ladder rungs broke when they
Yeah.
did that spot.
So Moose, he's 6'5",
Yeah,
three hundred
he's
pounds. He's a
definitely 300
big
pounds.
dude.
Easy 300
Yeah.
pounds, no questions asked. If I was
Yeah.
6'6", I would weigh 300 pounds and it would
Yeah.
not look like him. So he
Hey,
has
I'm
like
5'10" and I
0%
used to
body
weigh
fat.
300 pounds.
Yeah, but he's like 5'5". So, anyways, they, I have to give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
If the second half of the last match wasn't as like boring as it got,
Yeah.
I would be on a roll right now, pretty excited. Wait,
Yeah.
what was the last match? Cora Jade?
Yeah.
No, that
The
was okay. I'm talking about
the
the other
Mustafa
one,
Ali and yeah.
Mustafa Ali.
Yeah.
Because the Cora Jade match, the Masha Samovic match, that was
Yeah.
it moved along well.
Yeah.
Like it had a good pacing to it.
And
It
it was
wasn't
10
like
minutes, so that's like a
yeah,
perfect amount of time for that
yeah,
match.
because you're not going to go any longer with Cora Jade.
No. But yeah, and Moose retains because like you said, Jeff Hardy, either he's kayfabe or really
He's
injured.
actually injured. He's
Yeah.
actually they announced it.
Okay. So with that, we are moving into our main event. You get one gimmick match after another gimmick match, a 10-man steel cage match featuring the System and the Colognes against Jeff Hart, Matt Hardy, Joe Henry, Elijah, Leon Slater, and Nick Nemeth. Beep,
Joe
beep,
Hardy,
beep.
Matt Hendry. You turned
That's all,
into me right
folks.
there. I hate these kind of cages. I'm a sell
Yeah,
guy. I'm a sell guy all day. I hate when there's a cage and it touches the ropes like it's on the ring.
yeah.
Like I
And they
hate that.
bent, like they were bending.
Yeah. But
And now we understand why this is the first cage match in 5 years. They shouldn't be doing cage
it
matches.
wasn't that bad. It wasn't
But
that
I
bad.
like when they
It
do
wasn't
the
bad.
other one. Is it the not is it Ultimate X? No, not Ultimate X. The one where the ceiling comes down, it has the weapons. Monsters, was it a
Oh,
Monsters Ball?
Monsters Ball.
Yeah, I like
No,
that one.
that's stupid. Don't do that. Um, it. I like this match a lot.
Yeah, I
I
did.
thought
It
there was
was
some good.
fun. It was a
Leon
great main
Slater is
event.
really good. Like
Holy
really
jeez.
good.
Let's talk about Leon Slater for a little bit. Like the last show, he was on the pre-show doing nothing, and now he's in the main event,
But
and he
he
really shined in this
so
match.
we had seen him twice on Rev Pro, and
Mhm.
both times we were like, we didn't even remember his name.
Yeah.
We just knew when he got signed by them, we were like, hey, that's that guy.
Yeah, the
And
really fast guy.
yeah, and he's young, he's really talented. He has the size, and
Good future for him.
he has so much skill. He's already Will Ospreay-esque.
Yeah, he's a better Javon Evans
Yeah, he's definitely better. And he does a wicked 450 swanton off the
off
top,
the top of the cage. Yeah, that was
and he
sick.
landed like perfectly.
Yeah, didn't hurt
Uh,
himself and didn't hurt the guy.
there were some fun little weapon spots.
JDC took some great bumps in this
The
match.
colognes were really good.
Yeah.
I would say the weakest person in this whole match was Brian Myers.
Yeah, because even Eddie Edwards starting the match was really good
And Eddie
with
Edwards dropped
Elijah.
a really, really beautiful blue thunder bomb. Like
Yeah,
it looked so perfect.
Elijah's entrance was kind of neat too with the
Yeah,
horse.
and Elijah knows what to do. Like I won't say he's a great wrestler,
He's not
but
a great wrestler, but he knows how to entertain the crowd.
he's a really good face.
Yeah,
A really good goof face. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
and he knows how to entertain. He
Yeah.
knows how to he knows how to sell to a crowd.
He's good, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I do prefer Ezekiel.
Yes.
The when he was the knockoff of like the Warrior.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can't complain. I think actually, you know what? Maybe Joe Hendry was the weakest in this match.
Yeah, he didn't do very
He
much
didn't really
either.
do much. At least
Yeah.
Brian Myers did a lot of stuff.
He took a lot of bumps too. Like Myers, I would say Myers, Edwards, and JDC, they took some heavy, heavy bumps.
Yeah, Brian Myers took a fucking really gnarly bump.
The one
Trying
where
to
he
think
kind
what
of,
it
it's
was.
the one where they threw him and he went between the ropes and he hit the cage.
It was. I think that might have been what it was.
Yeah,
There
he
was
went for
there was
he went
one
for a
spot where I was
lariat.
like, "Holy shit!" I'm like,
Yeah,
he really let that happen.
yeah. But I mean, in the end, Matt Hardy gets the pin on JDC. He does kind of the twist of fate with the chair.
There was a good little finish there where
Yeah,
everyone was getting hit with something, and
yeah,
they did like a nice little chain.
yeah,
I really enjoyed this
yeah. Don't
match.
like the cage, but the match was good.
I liked the cage. But I prefer a cell.
Okay.
I'm a cell guy.
All right, all right. So Matt Hardy wins, and he gets the pin, and in we see, at one point Ryan Nemeth is at ringside.
Yeah, he comes out for no reason. But I mean, I think there was a
That's the
really good.
storyline.
I think there's a good story set up here. The interview backstage,
Hmm.
and then him coming out, having Matt Hardy get the pin, having them lock the cage. They
It
beat
took,
up Matt
which took
Hardy,
way too long.
but they did it in a way where you didn't. The wrestlers were
Realize,
like they were
yeah,
like getting fan appreciation,
yeah,
right? So no one was really paying attention to what he was doing, and even if you were, you're like, okay, why is he doing that? I don't get it.
yeah,
It wasn't like immediately obvious that this was going to
yeah.
happen,
That's very true. That's very true. So we do get a Nick Nemeth heel turn.
which is good. I like it.
I like heel Nick Nemeth. We get a turn on Matt Hardy. They beat the crap out of him. They make him bleed.
I think that they're going to win the belts. That's the
Ryan and
plan.
Nick, yeah.
And I think it's not just to have heel champions, not just to have um maybe they join the system. Not just
No,
to,
I don't
no,
think that'll be it. I think
not
they'll
just to
just
have
be
heel champions, not but I think a lot of this is just to give more belts to Nick Nemeth. I think like he wants to have more belts in his
he wants his
Wikipedia.
he wants his stats padded, yeah.
Yeah, so he's like he negotiated a way to get a storyline where he'll win the belts where it helps the company as well.
Yeah. And him winning the tag belts wins and it also leaves the door open for the Hardys to have that match at Stand and Deliver against Axiom and win the belts and not have to be double champ,
Yeah.
which I don't mind that. I love Fraxium, but I mean, give the Hardys their They're due.
They've
And
never
then
won NXT, right?
no.
Yeah, so then fuck it, why not?
And then set up the Hardys versus Dudley at WrestleMania.
Yeah, Devon's never gonna do that.
No. The Dudleys versus Matt and Jeff versus the NXT championship
Versus Christian Cage and Cope.
and Cope. Yeah.
You know
But
what though? Like, listen, out of those six wrestlers we just said, Christian is like head and fucking shoulders above any
in
of them.
terms of a solo career, yes,
Just
I think so.
as a wrestler at his age right now, he's better than all of them. It's not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close. As a character, not even close. Bubba
Yeah.
Ray is close in
In
terms of
character
like
work.
being able to use him for stuff. And then
Yeah,
I
but
would say
he's just there
Jeff.
for spots. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would go Christian, Bubba, Jeff Hardy,
Matt Hardy.
no, Edge, Matt Hardy, Devon.
You'd put Jeff over Matt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeff can still wrestle. He's just
Yeah.
he fucks up spots a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't want to watch Matt. Matt can't even move his legs.
Yeah, that's true. He can't even walk that guy.
And
He waddles.
Devon's like done, right?
Yeah,
Edge is
he's
just Edge. I rated him so low because he's just so fucking boring to watch.
yeah, he's
I
not
anytime
he's
when I heard
it's
Edge versus John Moxley, I was like, oh God, what a
here we go
boring
again.
match.
It's just his character is not entertaining.
Hey, but the Dynamite match was actually really good. Not just the match, but the overbooking on it was awesome. And I got to give a shout out here to Wheeler Yuta and
Hmm.
whoever the referee was. I don't remember.
How they got that bat out of the
No, but for like thinking on the spot, Wheeler called him over. He goes, "You figure this out. I'm gonna go wrestle that guy because the crowd's
yeah,
gonna realize how long are we gonna sit here trying to pull this fucking shit out of his back."
yeah, yeah.
And they saved the match, and then they sent Claudio out, and it was like that was a perfect storm of events,
This was your NWO run-in.
and it was perfect. It
So
was perfect.
why did they do this on Dynamite and not on the pay-per-view?
Because I think they wanted to do that on the pay-per-view, but it just didn't all come together how they wanted it to. And they
Because the
realized people wanted it, maybe they watched the podcast, to be
maybe who
more
knows?
overbooked.
All 50 of us.
Like I know well, there was already too many plunder matches, number one.
Yeah.
You couldn't do that because it should have been this match.
Yeah.
And they probably the way they planned it, they didn't think about doing the overbooking and then realized that's what people wanted. The online people were probably like, it should have been more stuff happening.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, we'll give them the plunder match that they deserved and blow it off because it's a blow off. Because now
Yeah.
Edge's storyline goes over to FTR and whatever's happening there,
There, yeah.
and now you can do focus on Swerve and Moxley.
And Moxley, yeah. But back to TNA. A lot of tangents on this episode. What would you
It's
score this
okay.
show?
No, what did you score this show?
I gave this a 7-1.
Wow.
It just
Honestly,
I had trouble with holding my interest.
I think that's a lot of my issue too. It's not even that
But the
anything about
matches
the
were
show is
good. Don't get me wrong. The
bad.
matches were good.
From a
It's just
wrestling technical, not like technical wrestling, but like from a technical match aspect.
yeah.
None of the matches were like bad, except
No.
like the second half of the Sami Callihan, whatever the fuck that was.
Yeah, and the second half of the Mustafa Ali.
Mustafa Ali. And the women's match wasn't very good. It was
Yeah.
entertaining, but it wasn't good. The tag. It's it. I agree with you. I had trouble like staying focused on watching the wrestling. It felt long.
I had to watch it in 3 segments.
So that's what I'm saying. And I watched the Revolution in one go, and that was a long ass pay per view, and
Mhm.
I never felt like I want to turn this off. But
Same
there was
here.
a few times where I was like, oh, I need a break from this.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
lucky at work. I watch it during my lunch break, so I got an hour for lunch, so it's one segment of the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I give it a 7-2.
7-2. Okay. So yeah,
I'm surprised. I wanted to hear what you were gonna say to see if maybe I'm crazy for giving it a 7-2, but you said 7-1, and you gave the same reasoning that I had.
yeah, because
So I
when
was
you
like,
said
okay.
when I gave it a 7-1 and you said, "Wow, I thought you were going to score it higher."
No.
Yeah.
I was between a 7-2 and a 7-3, and I think a
Okay.
7-2 is fair. It's
Yeah.
a good 7-2 is a high score. That's
It
a good
is.
pay per view.
Yeah. It's
Right?
watchable.
We're starting
Kinda.
to get better at separate like before everything was condensed in this one block of rating. We're
Yeah.
starting to get better at like pulling them apart where things we would have gave a 7 before are getting 6s now, and things we
Yeah.
would have gave us a 7.5
7 and a-
now are getting an
They're
8.
getting 7s. Yeah.
Like we're like we're it's things are pushed
Being
apart.
stretched out a little bit
Yeah.
better. Yeah.
Because
But
like
yeah,
an eight
because
isn't like a perfect pay-per-view. An eight's just a really good pay-per-view. And we
yeah,
were getting really stingy giving out eights and being really like conservative and not giving out sixes.
sixes, yeah. So, but I mean, we haven't done a six yet this year. Our lowest. This
Yeah,
is
for
this is
sure
our
we did. We
lowest.
must have had something bad. We had one
No,
that we were
New Year's Evil so far has been our lowest show, which I gave a 7.2 and you gave a 7, and this one we gave a
What did you
7.1.
give Elimination Chamber?
Elimination Chamber I gave an 8,
What did you give? What did Putty give it?
7.8.
I give it an eight.
Yeah, it was really
I,
good,
I was
right?
between a 7.9 and an eight, so just give me an eight. I'll take an eight.
Yeah.
I swear we gave something a bad score this year. I swear there was one on NXT that we gave a really low score to.
New Year's Evil was the lowest one we gave. You
What
gave
did
it a
I
7.
give?
A 7.
No, there's no way I gave something a six for sure.
Nothing this year on a 6.
Oh yeah, actually maybe it was at the end of last year.
End of last year, yeah, we gave Turning Point a 5.8 and a 6.1.
Yeah, that was what TNA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But that one was a bad show. That's when they had no signings, they had no real men. The men's division was floundering.
The crowd is getting better,
Hmm.
and in a place like El Paso, where it
It's a
felt
big
like
wrestling town.
and it felt like real TNA fans, like original from the early 2000s
Yeah,
TNA fans were there type of thing. It didn't feel like the last pay-per-view where it was dominated by WWE NXT people showing up to
yeah,
a show. Like the This Is Awesomes came at the right times.
yeah. The "This is awesome" chant, we got it when he did the 450 off the cage. Then they started chanting "This is awesome,"
Yeah.
right? Like
And they
it was the
already
right
had
time.
like built-in chants that we don't hear anywhere else. Like they
Yeah.
had their own like entire like wrestling chant lingo coming from this
Hmm.
building.
Yeah,
So
even when they started doing the chant for Elijah, "Oh, ride with Eli," even he
yes,
started
yeah.
playing the guitar to it. Like
It
like
was
little things
fun.
like that was good. But like I said, it just the matches were good, but they didn't. These are not pay-per-view worthy matches.
No, and it was a bloated card. I
Yeah,
think
these would
there's
have been great on Impact.
like when you really think about it, the only company that doesn't do long cards is WWE. You get five, maybe six, which I would
Yeah,
like them to do six on every pay per view. Like
yeah.
five is not enough.
Elimination Chamber only had 4.
Yeah, I mean, so did the Rumble, right?
Yeah,
But give me seven match pay per views, six match pay per views. That's fine. I don't need
yeah.
a full AEW 12 match pay
And
per views
can
or
we
whatever.
please get more titles defended on pay-per-views?
WWE at 100%. TNA defends every belt, every pay per view.
Almost, yes.
The digital media is the only one that didn't get defended.
Or the world,
Oh yeah, because he was in that match, and the
or the
tag
tag.
guys were in that match. But they were
Yeah,
there was a one of them was in the X Division match.
yeah,
So, but there was the belts were on the show.
yeah. That's one thing I gotta give AEW credit. Like at least all the belts are defended on the
Yeah, Ring of
shows.
Honor, you get the belts. TNA, you mostly get the belts. New Japan, you get most of the belts. New
Yeah.
Japan needs to do better with the trios division because you have
Yes.
so many wrestlers and so many factions that you can build trios out of. I don't know why you
They're
keep doing
focusing
three
right now,
old
they're
guys against three
focusing
old guys.
Tanahashi is part of your trios champion, but they're focusing on his retirement tour, so he's never defending the
You
belts.
know what's going to happen? They're pushing this to the side so nobody remembers, and then all of a sudden he's going to break the record for longest. They're going to
Right.
be the longest trios. That trio.
Uh he
I
has
think
to have some kind
I
of
was
record.
talking to someone about that the other day. Like they're just pushing it to the side so everyone forgets. Anyways, we're done here.
We're done. Anyway, with that out of the way, guys, thanks again for joining us. Unfortunately, we're not able to find the MLP shows, so we won't be doing a review on those. But Sakura Genesis is coming up in a few weeks, so stay tuned for that. That'll probably be David Finlay versus Goto,
Hopefully that'll be a wicked
and
match.
that'll be a great match. So with that out of the way, guys, thanks again for joining us. And in the words of Kenny Omega, goodbye and good night.